Live, right?
We are now.
We are now.
We are now.
Okay.
All right, hello, everyone. We are live. Welcome to the second of the Booktube live shows. I have another group of lovely people who are joining me here today to hang out for some bookish fun. If you want to go around and introduce yourselves like we did last time with your name, your channel name, and your Hogwarts house, and then what you're currently reading.
Okay, I'll go first. I'm Molly from Magical Molly. I'm a proud Slytherin, and I'm currently reading, well, one of the things I'm reading I can't show you because it's part of a surprise collab Rachel and I are doing, and we're like not allowed to know what the other one picked. But I'm also reading Julius Caesar for mine and Bridget's The Bard Book Club. Told myself I was going to have that finished days ago. My fourth time reading it though. Spoiler alert: Caesar dies, but it's good.
Hello, everybody. I am Steve, also known as your friendly neighborhood lawn gnome. You can find me on my channel, The Lawn Gnome. Glad to see I'm not the only person who's also wearing the Hogwarts house colors today. I am a Ravenclaw. I am in between books at the moment. On Friday, I just finished Miss Peregrine's Conference of the Birds, which I really enjoyed. And tomorrow I'm going to be starting the second part of my Marissa Meyer Lunar Chronicles reread. I'm rereading Scarlet, which I'm really excited for because it's my favorite book in the series. And along with books, I also do read a lot of comics, and I'm about to start a comic story in the world of X-Men that was around for almost 30 years now. It's called Inferno, and it's 40 comic books worth, and it involves the entire Marvel universe. So I'm really excited to see this take place because I had heard so much about it as a kid, and I'm really excited to tackle it.
Fun.
Awesome.
Is it me or Rachel?
You can go.
Okay. I'm Bridget. I'm from B Books, and I realize I'm now the only person who put just my name instead of my channel name. So, I wasn't on that page, but I'm Bridget. I'm from B Books, and I'm currently reading A Court of Wings and Ruin by Sarah J. Maas, and I'm also reading Julius Caesar for the live show. You should all join.
Oh yeah, our movie night pushed back to tomorrow.
Yes, and then our live stream is like Friday.
Yeah, Friday. Because we were supposed to do it on Friday night. Watch Caesar Must Die together, like on Twitter, and then Bridget was packing up her dorm, and I was hella sick. I didn't have corona. It's fine. Nobody. And even if I did, I was social distancing like a responsible American.
Yeah.
But it was just like an anxiety. I was like, I'm dying. My sister said, what are your symptoms? I told her, she went, yeah, that's like the stomach bug you get from a really bad anxiety attack. And I was like, great.
Yeah.
Like, just what I need.
And I was like, you know what? The other day, I was like, things are too dull. Let's really spice it up. So, but if you want to watch Caesar Must Die, we're going to do that together. They have it on YouTube rental for like $3. So.
Oh, nice.
It's supposed to be really good. It's like got like almost perfect score on Rotten Tomatoes. It's about
I've heard it's really good as well.
Yeah, because what we do with our book club is we wanted to each month pick a play to read and then an adaptation or reimagining to go with it. And not just always pick like, the straight old classic, just direct adaptations of the play, but do different stuff. So Bridget picked We Do Caesar Must Die, and it's like about people, like guys in a prison putting on a production of Julius Caesar.
Yeah, my Shakespeare professor said it was really good.
So. And it just like, I watched the trailer and it looks like it just really delves into like the intricacies. And Julius Caesar is my favorite Shakespeare play. Bridget, when she suggested this, was like, should we go in publication order? And I was like, no, beware the Ides of March.
Yeah,
I was like, how much we should have listened to that soothsayer. This is not going good.
Exactly. Rachel, you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Rachel. My channel is Reads with Rachel. My house is Ravenclaw. I'm currently reading a bunch of stuff. What? Sorry.
You said Ravenclaw.
Ravenclaw rules.
Yeah. I'm reading a bunch of stuff. Obviously, I can't say one of them. Well, I just finished it, actually, so I can say the other stuff. So I'm reading, I'm rereading Shadow and Bone because I want to reread all of the stuff before the show comes out on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
And
you know when that's coming out?
Sorry?
Do you know when that's coming out?
I believe at the end of this year. but
Okay.
I could be
I have to get
completely
on that
wrong.
then.
Yeah, I don't know if
don't
there's a
take my
release
word.
date for it yet, but
Yeah,
I've heard at the end of this year, but
I know
don't take my word for it.
Yeah.
over the past few months. So
I think they wrapped already, so I don't think they were halted by this. So that's good.
I was about
Yeah.
to say like, oh, a lot of stuff. It's like we'll be there when we get there. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm also reading The Girls Who Went Away, which is nonfiction about women who had pregnancies in the years before Roe versus Wade. And they obviously had no options, and they were young, and they had to give up their children. And oh, Molly, that's one of the books I recommended to you, isn't it?
Rachel has I found your channel because this one of your videos came up on my recommended like a month or so ago. She does this cool. I don't know if you're doing them as a series or just periodically, but when you review the books that have to do with reproductive rights. But guys, you should go watch them. They're so good. They're so in depth. They're so unique. Like I'm not like
Yeah, thank you.
booktubers, but like I felt like the past year booktube as a community, we kind of all hit a rut. We're like, what the hell do we do? We've been doing the same thing. And when I saw your video, it's like one of them is like she has like an hour-long video where she
2 hours.
Yeah, one of them is
It's 2 hours.
I like sat down and was like, all right, this will get me through the evening. And one of them, she like calls like those pregnancy crisis centers and pretends that she's a patient so that she can like get on audio how messed up those people are. And
I allegedly did that. Allegedly.
sorry, she didn't do it. Someone might have. I don't know. But you guys should watch them. They're so cool. That's how I found her channel. And then I was texting Bridget and I was like, you gotta go watch this, girl. It's great.
Ah, thank you. Yeah, they're fun.
And we have a collab book review thing coming out on the last day of the month for Women's History Month.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
Yeah, I'm excited. We gave each other each 3 different books by women about women that we thought were like important. And then we each picked one and we didn't tell the other one what we picked, and we won't know until our reviews go up.
Fun.
Yeah,
It's fun.
All right. And lastly, I'll introduce myself. My name is Gabby. This is my channel, Gabby YA Books. I'm a Hufflepuff, if you can't tell. And as for what I'm currently reading, I'm working on Dark Age by Pierce Brown, which is the I want to consider it like the 5th book in the Red Rising series. Good stuff. And then I'm working through reading F. Scott Fitzgerald's collected works. So I just read Benjamin Button today because it's the 1920s. And so it may not be the Roaring 20s right now. I feel like the way things are going. But I figured I would try to make my way through that entire anthology or the collection that I have. So I'm working through some of his short stories, and I'm probably going to start The Beautiful and the Damned tomorrow, which will be fun.
that's fun.
Nice.
I'm always for people reading the classics.
Yep. So we're going to start out with some BookTube trivia, which
It written down.
should be very exciting. So Molly put together all the questions. So thank you so much, Molly, for doing that. I have no idea what to expect, but I think it's going to be fun. And
I'm gonna fail miserably.
oh yeah, no, this is gonna be terrible, but it'll be fun. People will be entertained.
Let me
You might actually do better than you think. We did this at BookNet Fest, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna be real bad, but I didn't do as bad as I thought I would. So you
I already know like 5 of the questions, so I won't answer for those.
cheater.
I said, let me give you it. I said, so you understand like what I'm writing. So
Yeah, no, I just wanted to like see what it was about.
Because I want to make sure I wasn't coming out with like impossibly difficult questions. Because like
No, they were all like pretty reasonable. I felt like.
I write trivia all the time for holidays, and I'll like walk around my house. I'm like, we got Halloween trivia, let's go. And everyone's this is too difficult. All right,
No, this was like a good like level. I wanted to like kind of see like where she was going. And I was like, yeah, these are good.
Okay,
Cool.
let me make a little score sheet here. Okay, so yeah, some are a little hard and some I think are pretty easy. So some are multiple choice, some are not. You just got to know. If I ask one and that where it's not multiple choice and no one understands, then I'll create it multiple choice. And then if just no one gets it, then no one gets it. We move on. So on whoever raises their hand first.
Okay, cool.
But don't raise your hand till I'm done reading it because I'll be looking at the notebook. I won't know.
Cool. Okay.
Okay, so there are a fair amount of questions. So let's get going. Number 1, who were the original members of Booksplosion?
All right, go.
Bridget.
Kat, Jessie, Christine, Ariel, And then I want to say The Little Book Owl and Raylene.
Okay, that's not right.
Okay.
Does anyone else want to try?
I
No
will.
idea.
How many are there?
Yeah, there are 4 original members.
Oh, there are 4. Oh, okay. Then
Okay.
the first
Yeah,
4 that I
then-
said.
The
Yeah.
first 4 you said are right. You didn't need to go.
I thought there might have been more. As I was
We
like,
had other people come on in the beginning as guests, but I'll
Yeah.
give you a half point because when you kept going, I was like, you had it.
I was
No.
like, I don't know, but like,
Yeah. Also,
Yeah.
if one of my dogs barks during this, I'm sorry. The window's open. I have no control.
It's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, if you can hear my kids, sorry.
We're all trapped in our home. Okay, question number 2. What was Bridget, I already asked you this one, so you can't answer.
Oh boy.
What was the first Booksplosion read? The first
and I
book-
got it right. I was shook.
Oh God, I would not know that.
Oh my gosh.
I asked Bridget this the other day, and she knew. She was like, oh, I don't know this. And I was like, yeah.
I was like, that's a hard one.
Oh God.
Okay, I'll give y'all a hint. It was a YA dystopia because this is back still when we gave a shit about those.
I could
I mean,
probably.
we may still.
Okay, but what do you have to say, Lano? What do you think it is? I forgot your first name.
I don't know why. Oh, it's Steve, but
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I'm gonna go and maybe guess the Hunger Games.
No, that's a good guess. It's like a very similar type of story. Someone said We Were Liars. No, that was an early one they did.
That was an early one. Yeah.
That's good, but that wasn't it. That was like their 3rd or 4th. Austin said, I love Molly's dogs, and they're godly. Thank you. Someone said Divergent. No, you're getting closer. It was much more recent than Divergent. What, Rachel, what do you think?
Is it oh shoot, it left me. Oh no.
Okay, I'll give you guys another hint. The title was one word. And I'm pretty sure it had a huge cover change when it got to book 2, and everyone was really annoyed.
I could draw the cover if anyone wants me to. While you try to guess, this is the next hint.
Okay.
Does everyone give up?
I give up.
Yeah.
Oh, somebody said Scythe. No, it was Control by Lydia.
Wait, I was gonna draw the cover.
Oh, I wouldn't know that.
Yeah.
It was Control by Lydia Kang.
Wow.
Okay, so number 3. This one is multiple choice. So nobody answer until I've said them all. Which booktuber invented the pride flag book tag? Was it A, Common Spence, B, Puck's Paperbacks, 3, Emma Books, or D, Paperback Dreams? Steve, who was it?
I believe that's Common Spence.
It was.
Yeah.
Although I will make a shout out to Alex over at Pucks and Paperbacks, very good friend of mine.
Yeah,
Yes.
right.
He's awesome. Awesome.
Okay, so number 4. Whose intro is this? Again, raise your hand. Don't just scream it at me. Hey, what's up? Hello.
Oh.
Emma Books.
Yeah.
It is in the books, yeah.
I got one.
Number 5, I asked Bridget this the other day, so she can't answer. How did Christine used to start her videos? She had a very specific way she'd begin.
Oh my God.
I'm trying to remember that. Oh my God.
It's been
I'm so sad that I got all the ones that I like. I don't
No
know.
one got that I had already asked Bridget the other day. I'm going to give Bridget a half point because she did know it. I just didn't ask her.
Can I do it? Can I act it out now?
Do it.
But yeah, just hold on, wait. I'm seeing if no one remembers. Okay, Bridget, do it.
Yeah.
What's up, guys?
Yeah, she like whooshed it.
Dramatic hair flip.
She like,
That's what I was like thinking. I was like, it was like some dramatic like.
She'd be like, hello, and then
whooped her hair.
and she'd flip her hair down and go out of flame. It was ridiculous. And it was
Yeah.
so funny.
There's a card booktuber that does that now, though. Isn't that G Swizzle Books who does the whole thing with the hair flip? What up, book lovers? Or something
Probably.
similar?
Other people, because she was one of the like first 10 people who booktubed. So
Wow.
Yeah.
okay, number 6. This one is like again, it might be one of the 2 difficult ones I wrote. So like I'll give hints if we can't get it. What is Kat from Paperback Dreams' favorite book? She talks about it a lot. Rachel.
Radio Silence.
Yes. Number 7. These aren't all about Christine, I swear. It's just
I mean, yeah,
Well, when you're an impactful person, that's what happens.
yeah.
Christine did elaborate lip syncs for 3 VidCons straight. What were the songs of those 3 different lip syncs?
Oh,
hard.
I know one of them for sure.
All right, well,
I
I'll give you
remember
a
watching
third point
those.
if you know one.
Okay.
Bridget, what were they?
Bad Blood,
Mm-hmm.
the La La Land song,
Yeah, someone in the crowd.
Oh,
and
then I know the third one. I know the other one.
You Can Take.
She did Hamilton. Did they do the Schuyler sisters? Or
Yeah,
And then they
Hamilton.
did the BookTube sisters. So
Sisters.
you guys can split that point.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Yeah, that was the one where they did like an actual parody and they changed the lyrics and everything.
Yeah, that was one they actually changed. Yeah,
But man, the effort.
Those were fun.
I respect. Like,
I was so sad when she stopped doing them.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, they stopped.
I think it was mainly because BookTube like stopped really showing up at VidCon, and so a lot of creators
Yeah.
just stopped going because they didn't have a panel for it anymore.
Yeah. And I mean, it's
Do it at like BookCon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I can't believe I wrote this question. I'm looking at it now. What is Bangtastic? Bridget, what is it?
That was the shit name for
Maybe not
and
family
90
friendly.
Yep.
when they dated for that short
I
while.
remember talking to you guys about that in 2017 when we first met.
Yep.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So, Ben and Kat, it was. Okay, so the next one is a multiple choice. Who created the Birthstone book tag? Was it A, Bookables, B, Paper Fairy, C, The Awkward Bookworm, or D, Pages and Pens? Steve.
I think it was the Paper Fairy.
It was not.
Oh, darn.
Okay.
Rachel.
Is it Awkward Bookworm?
It is.
Yeah.
Okay. Next one. What year? Bridget, you can't answer this. I didn't ask you this, but you'll know, and it's not fair.
Okay.
What year did BookTube Rewind come out?
Oh, I should know this because
I think I was too.
Gabby,
What?
what year?
I was okay. Wait, was it 2018?
It was.
Yes. Okay. Because I was like, it was not. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of these, I'm like, what are the year? But what year did the first episode of Christine's book writing series start when she first told us she was going to write a novel?
Oh.
Bridget, what is it?
2017?
Close, but no.
Damn, I should have gone with my other guess.
Anyone else? Rachel?
2018?
No, you guys all went too high. It was 2016.
I was
Yeah,
gonna
I was gonna
say
say
2016, and I was like, no, I don't know.
Christine coined the term book lion. Which booktuber's channel name uses the word book lion?
Oh,
Oh,
I know this. I just don't know the name.
is it? Oh.
Michael.
I'm sorry, Bridget.
Michael.
Michael
Book
Book
Lion.
Lion, yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah.
I
why?
knew it. I
That
knew
was
it.
not
I knew
what
that
I was
it was
thinking, but I
Michael.
don't know
I
why
don't
he
know
didn't
the
come to
name.
mind. I was thinking of somebody else, but yeah.
What year was the first BookTube panel at VidCon? The first time they got to have a panel.
Oh.
Yikes.
Yeah, it was the way back. The factor in what some call it the golden era of
Go.
2015?
Gabby.
Okay.
Yeah. Did you say 20? I was gonna say 2015. Yeah.
Okay.
Wait,
Yeah.
who said 2015?
Both
Bridget
of us.
said it first.
You're both right, yeah.
Oh, I should have said it. I can't.
I'm like not being aggressive enough. I feel like I need to be more aggressive because I'm like thinking the answers in
I
my
feel
head.
awkward because I'm just like,
You guys, you need to put your hand like up.
Be more aggressive.
Tiny little blocks on my
Both hands up.
Okay. Which booktuber got started by making videos about NaNoWriMo?
Oh, that yeah,
cat.
Yeah.
Catty
Yep.
yeah.
Fantastic. What are the names of the main characters in Christine's debut novel, Again But Better? I'm looking for 2 names.
Whoa.
They're the couple. I just need their first names.
Oh my god. I should know this because I
Y'all
read the
who
book.
just read this.
I read it like a year ago. Oh wait. Okay, I think I
Don't
know.
look at the chat.
I know the male love interest. I believe.
Okay,
Is his
does
name-
anyone know both? You can have half point if you know the male.
Oh my god. I
Okay,
should
Gabby,
know.
What's the male's name?
Is the male's name Hudson? I don't know. Is that? It's not it. No, I don't know why that came to mind. I remember I've watched so many videos of her talking about how she named her male
The names
protagonist.
are Shane and Pilot.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
okay,
I
that
was
makes
thinking
me
like
mad.
Colton because
I
like,
never would have guessed that.
Because of the pen.
The pen, yes.
No, I was gonna name
I
him
remember
Pen,
that
but
guy.
I was like, I don't.
Bridget and I gave Christine bananas and Pilot pens when we went to her signing in Philly.
Yeah, but I couldn't think of Pilot. I just thought of pens. I was like,
Yeah,
it's not pen.
Pen. You're like, that's right. Okay, next one. Which booktubers interviewed Michelle Obama? There were 3 of them.
I was thinking you were going to ask
shoot.
something about
I only know
this.
2. I only know 2.
Ariel, Jesse, and Kat.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, I was close. Only 2.
Because there was a big thing where people said that they only picked white booktubers, and then Ariel was like, hi, hello, let's not forget I'm mixed race. And we were like, good point. Yeah, because a lot of people got annoyed about that, and Ariel in one of her videos was kind of like, yeah, I don't want to be that person, but I'm not completely white, I'm mixed race. And I was like, good for you. Because I'm pretty sure she's Honduran. That's what else she is, if I remember correctly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So those videos are good. They're cool. Man, I'm fucking jealous. Like,
Yeah, there's a new one that just dropped, I think, yesterday or something.
Ariel's just interviewing all the important people.
Oh, yeah.
She interviewed Bill Gates. I was like,
And Margaret Atwood. Like,
insane.
and what's crazy is this is like in one video she goes like, oh yeah, I got this book for Bill Gates. I think he does a lot of really interesting stuff with the environment. And then like a month later, it's like, I'm interviewing Bill Gates, and I'm like, oh, so we just say things and they become true? Is that how it
Right?
like, God, I better get on it.
Yeah.
Okay. What year was the first Booktubeathon, now known as the Reading Rush? Bridget.
2014.
No.
Damn, Steve.
Rachel.
2015.
No, you guys are going. You need to go lower. This thing's been around a hot second.
I wouldn't even know.
I went back in the video archives and was like, searching.
I'll give a guess.
Okay, what is it?
Is it 2011?
No, now you got. All right, now I'm gonna give way too narrow window. It was 2013. It was the
Yeah.
first.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, isn't that wild? I didn't think it was that old either. I went to double check, and I was
Yeah.
like, surely it's 2014 or 15.
Oh, yeah,
Okay,
because they
this
made
one-
their channel like the second year or whatever, yeah.
Yeah. What year did BookTube become obsessed with Hamilton?
Oh, that had to. Oh,
Gabby.
I want to say. Okay, wait. I want to say 2016, right?
Correct.
2000, yeah, I was like, because that's when because I know that's when I saw the show.
started going
They
through
came to
all
Chicago.
of the different BookTube Hamilton videos and was like,
Because there was the Hamilton tag, and I did that in 2016, and that's
That
when
was
like
when it was
everyone was doing
Yeah.
that.
yeah.
I was
okay.
like, it has to be.
Which booktuber invented the rip it or ship it book tag? Was it A, Lizzie Books, B, Emma Books, or C, Michael Booklion? Gabby.
That was Emma, right?
It was.
Yes.
Okay, we're 2/3 of the way through, folks. Here we go. What is Christine's lucky number?
I have no idea.
It's in her other channel titled.
Oh,
Oh,
Bridget.
20.
yeah. Okay.
Has
I was thinking, I was thinking like that makes sense. For some reason, I thought of 13 because she was a Taylor Swift fan, and
Yeah.
Taylor Swift also like 13, so like that came to mind. But yeah, I should have known that.
What is Jessie the Reader's favorite book?
Oh,
Gabby.
because you just Steve finished reading the series,
Yeah.
Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children.
That is correct.
I didn't even know that. Now I'm really. Now I think
That's why I
loved
just because of the fact that not many people really talk about the series
Zach.
as it's been progressing. No one's really talked about the last 2 books on this series.
Here's what this next question is about an episode of a show that Bridget made. And I asked her this the other day, and her first answer was wrong.
I was very tired in my defense.
It was late, but which season finale of Ravenclaw Rules did I make a guest appearance in?
Oh,
1, 2, or 3? One of the season finales I popped up in a Skype call. Rachel.
2.
Yes. Bridget goes 1. I'm like, no.
I'm sailing through by
I'm
guessing.
dumb. It's okay.
Oh God, it was so funny because I expected her to be like, LOL, 2. Yeah, at the end of season 2, her character FaceTimes me, and I'm supposed to be her cousin,
I'm like,
and I
what's
do like
up?
a really awful British accent.
Yeah.
The joke was they're all talking in American accents, even though they're at Hogwarts, so they wanted me to be from Ilvermorny, but talk in a British accent.
Yeah.
I was like, well, the problem we've reached here is I suck in British accents. And she had me saying shit like "jolly good to meet you," and it was ridiculous. And then I end with being like, "Blimey, is that the time?" And I'm saying like Doctor Who or something. It's ridiculous. Okay. What year was Zenith published originally as an ebook? Because remember, it came out in ebook parts. Gabby.
Was that 2016? Right? Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, damn.
That's when it was just little booklets before it was a full book.
Yeah, I remember us reading it, and we were like, ooh.
Yeah, we were reading it on a group chat. We were like, wow, this is a lot. Which booktuber made a parody of the 50 Shades of Grey trailer? Was it A, Poland Bananas Books, B, the booktuber, Tiernan, or C, Bangity Bangs?
Oh.
It's such a funny video, too.
I want to watch this now because I don't think
Oh, yeah, I'll link it.
Is it Tiernan? Did Tiernan?
Tiernan, yeah.
Yes, okay.
Yeah, I was with him as well.
Yeah, he would have been mad at me if I didn't get that, and I
I
watched it.
He mixes up like lines from Twilight and 50 Shades of Grey, and he's like, "So what do you owe your success? My people don't need sleep to live, Miss Steele. That makes no sense." And she'd be like, "What do you like to do in your free time? What do you like to do in your free time?" Well, I ask you. I'm interviewing you. It's so funny. Okay, in 2016, Christine made a Harry Potter trivia video with two non-booktubers. They were YouTubers, but they weren't booktubers. Who were they, Gabby?
Tessa Netting and Anna Brisbane.
Yes.
Brizzy Books.
Yep.
I love Brizzy Voices. She's awesome.
I love Brizzy Voices so much. All right. Which booktuber has made a video series focused on discussing books about reproductive rights?
You want to just
raise your hand?
Do it,
Rachel. Yeah. I wrote these like a week ago, and I'm like, wow, Molly, you don't even remember who's in your own live show. This is a ridiculous question. Why is Christine's channel called Poland Bananas Books? Why Poland Bananas?
Okay.
I don't know.
Gabby.
Okay. So Poland is for Poland Springs, the water.
Yes.
Bananas is like, is it just like bananas? Like, was it, I'm trying to think if it was just the fruit or if it was like yogurt. Because for some reason that's coming up. Yeah, it was banana yogurt. And then the books is like, because she's booktuber.
Yeah, because her and her friend in like grade school wanted to have nicknames. And so she was like, I'll call you Poland and then you call me Springs because they both liked Poland Springs water. And
right.
I always like it. I like it when people talk about how the names of their channels actually came to be.
Yeah.
I like that brand just really stuck too. Like you wouldn't think she could make that work, and she did.
Yeah. Well, hey, you know what? She's quite vibrant.
Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief movie came out years before BookTube began, but Sea of Monsters came out after BookTube had begun. What year did Sea of Monsters come out? Was it A, 2015, B, 2013, or C, 2017? When they finally got Annabeth the blonde wig, and it still sucked and was inaccurate. Bridget.
2015?
No.
Damn.
Rachel.
2013?
Yes.
Yeah.
That would make more sense, yeah.
Yep.
What was the fake Reader Girls controversy of 2016? Can anyone give me a summary of what that was?
Oh, wow.
Oh, I think I know this.
Bridget.
So, this guy was watching, I believe, Emma from Emma Books videos, and he was like, oh, and like Christine's videos and stuff, and said, like, they're too pretty, like, they're wearing, like, makeup and stuff, so obviously they don't read.
Oh, that old white guy.
Yeah, and he was like,
Their makeup and their
pretending like they're reading, and they don't actually read.
He was like, I find it hard to believe that these girls who are putting on their blush with their well-lit videos. It happened around when BookCon was going on that year.
Yeah. And it was like, they're all just pretending to be readers.
Yeah, like they're just going for show and a real read. And so then like there was a splurge of videos of people being like, oh, wow.
Really?
Excuse me.
Well, scientifically, you just can't wear makeup and read at the same
You put it on and then like you can't even
You
see
lose your ability to read.
With fake eyelashes, they make it so hard.
because I wanted to prove that I.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
One booktuber read all of It by Stephen King
Oh,
over
I already have this
of one 24-hour readathon. Which booktuber was it?
Oh,
Gabby.
was it Zoe?
Yeah.
Read by Zoe?
Yeah.
No, wow,
Yeah,
bravo.
I got all these comments where they were like, "You couldn't have possibly actually done that," and I'm like, "All right, shut up."
No, if I tried hard
Read
enough, I
quickly.
could. It's a very captivating story.
Well,
Yeah.
like,
And it's like, why would you just assume that she like made it? Like, why would she make that up?
and if you watch those vlogs, like Zoe literally is up for 24 hours. Like she and goes. She does a 24-hour readathon.
Yeah.
Okay, we got 5 more questions. What is the name of Ariel and Raylene's podcast? They have a book podcast. What's it called?
Ooh. I remember them announcing this.
I mean, yeah, it's out. They make episodes. I don't listen to it. I need to.
Yeah.
I need to. It's just they do it like a book club, and I need to like read the books. So that
Right.
Yeah.
I know what the hell they're discussing, and I'm so behind.
Yeah.
All right, no one knows. It's called Books Unbound.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Oh.
I remember hearing about it when she first announced it, but yeah.
Yeah. I
Um,
don't follow because
this is a ridiculous question. I'm gonna ask it anyway. I make a podcast about classic literature with my sister. What's my sister's name?
Oh my god.
I knew.
Oh, shoot.
I knew.
Bridget, answer it. Save us.
Katie.
Yes, that's my
Okay.
sister. No, I mean that's the only.
I wanted to give everyone else a chance. I wanted to...
Just
And
do
no,
it
I didn't
quickly.
expect it. I was surprised even if Bridget remembered. Because, what year did Ariel leave Booksplosion? Was it A, 2016, B, 2013, or C, 2014?
Ooh.
And then it became the 3 that still do it today. Bridget,
2016.
no. Gabby,
2014, was that one of your?
yeah, it's 2014. Okay, 2 more
It's been
questions.
going on for a while then.
Oh,
It's been a long time.
crazy.
True or false? Booktubeathon has always had video challenges.
Oh.
Bridget.
False because of the Christmas one.
And also just the first year.
That's when they just had like reading. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just reading challenges. And the last question. This is a dumb one. What is Booktubeathon called now?
Oh, didn't we just?
Yeah, we just did this.
Everyone can have it on the count of 3. What's it called? 1, 2, 3.
Reading Rush.
Yay!
Yay!
Yeah,
All
I
right.
got 2.
Let me tally these up here. All right. So, coming in 4th place with 2 points is Steve.
I'll take it.
Coming in 3rd place with 7 points is Rachel. And then tied for 1st with 12 points each are Gabby and Bridget.
High five.
High five. Woo.
I'll take it as a learning experience.
I was seeing everybody in the chat jumping in. Good job,
That
Gabby.
was fun.
Yes, I was proud of everybody.
Every time I glanced over, they were like, this. Like,
Having fun.
yeah, good job, everybody.
Woo. Okay.
Oh, I was gonna answer. There was a question.
Yeah, I'll pull it up. Somebody asked about this. Yes?
Yes. Oh, that's so fancy. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
We love technology.
Last year, I decided I was making a video series about the different Percy Jackson adaptations because, you know, as we all know, the Lightning Thief movie sucks. And everyone has just kind of like universally been like, yes, it's terrible. And I wanted to see, like, it started by me just wanting to, like, read the book and watch the movie and be like, these are all the things that, like, were different and, like, trying to do, like, a little bit of stats for it. And then I thought about it and I was like, I could also talk about, like, the musical because, like, I think it's such a great adaptation. So then
It is.
I went into depth with that. And then I, like, messaged a bunch of people, like, who were involved with it and, like, messaged, like, the Twitter and stuff. I was like, hey, like, could I, like, interview the people because they're coming to Boston and I'm in Connecticut. And it worked out that, like, I was able to go see the show and then interview 2 of the members of the cast, and it was really cool. So, yes, just, like, talk to people about, like, be like, ask. Ask is the main thing.
Oh, yeah, no. Whenever
Never
someone,
know.
I said to Bridget, I was like, you should interview them. And she's like, how do I do that? I was like, ask.
Yeah, I was like, would they want that? But
and they gave you a ticket, and you got to go see the show again and everything.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Yay.
And then back when the world was still alive, I went to see it on Broadway with Bridget, and it was great.
Yeah. Well, I was like, I didn't think this was going to be good.
I didn't think it was going to be bad. I just didn't think I was going to be like so into it because like their trailer is not that good.
Yeah.
And then like literally halfway through the first song, I was like, hell yes, amazing.
Yeah.
Those are also just really good videos, and y'all should go watch them.
I put a lot of time and effort into
What's
it.
so funny is the actor, I forget his name, the actor who played Chiron that you interviewed. Like, what do you think that the musical got right that maybe the movies got wrong? And he's like, we're just going to assume that the movies were an unfaithful abomination. And we're just going to assume that.
Yes, I love him.
Yeah, that was great. He was probably one of my favorite parts of the show too. Was him as Chiron.
Yeah, he's really great.
What was that?
I said I don't like movie in front of students, and everyone was really like. I feel like it's just a universal fact
Yeah.
that it's terrible.
I feel like like you said, it's commonly accepted how bad it is.
My favorite is that like Rick Riordan like won't even acknowledge that there were movies made out of it. He'll be like,
yeah, like he and I like that he like promotes the musical as well.
Yeah, but he said he won't see the musical, not because he doubts it's accurate. As he's like, I just can't do that again. He's like,
no more.
Well, he also said that he doesn't want to like it clouding his judgment. Like,
yeah, I do think it is wild that like this incredibly low budget musical that started off Broadway and has a cast of 6 people.
Yeah, there's not very many people.
I knew that everyone was doubling up, but they were doing it so quick. I thought there was like twice as many people. And then when they bowed at the end, I was like, oh my God, that's it? Like, that's how quick they are changing costumes. And I was like, the fact that this incredibly low budget 6 people casted musical is more accurate than a giant Hollywood film.
Right?
Really says something.
I also just love the person who ran the Twitter account for the Lightning Thief musical. I know she got a lot of attention, and everyone was just like, she's the best. So very well done. I mean, it's one of the better, I think. I mean, I don't know too much about it, but from like hearing what everyone's been saying, that like there's been a lot of shitty YA adaptations in terms of like movies and films, TV shows, whatever. So to see it done on Broadway, I think it really shows you the capabilities of like what can be done with YA adaptations. That there's more than just movies and TV.
They literally have a song where they start singing about the blue food and the importance of blue food. And if you watch Andrea Reader's World's most recent video, she like goes over this like, cringe-worthy interview from when Sea of Monsters came out and with the cast, and someone's like, do you guys like blue food? And they're like, oh, I love this question. It's like so random and has like nothing to do with anything. And I'm like, wow.
Like, it shows how little what it was.
Yeah. Oh God. Like this makes me think a little bit of like Shadowhunters, because like that's another shitty adaptation of like because like I feel like how a lot of people feel about the Percy Jackson movies is how I feel about Shadowhunters because
so bad.
It's terrible. And like
so bad.
Tom Sherwood, who was cast as Jace Lightwood or Jace Whale. Why did I just do that anyway?
In the movie or the show?
In the show.
Yeah,
I'm sure when it was. Oh God, he's terrible. Like the amount of drama that was involved with him and things that he did. And
I remember that.
Refused to read the books. Like he did. I think Matthew Daddario, who's wonderful, love him, was doing an Instagram live, like doing a takeover, and Dom Sherwood walked in and called. Called Matt like a derogatory slur, like he literally like on live, and Matt like immediately shut it down, and then he had to apologize, and there was like something else that happened too. Like he was just a hot mess, and I was like, get rid of the So I like, and I mean like I think what's unfortunate is like at least the Lightning Thief has the musical. Like Cassie had the movie, which sucked, and then the TV show, which was even worse. Like it got worse, and I was like, that's just.
It's rough.
Especially because her world is so expansive. There's so many books, and like each one keeps getting better. And there's so many people that love those stories, and it's just,
There's so many things where they like will remake them more than once, and every time you're like, you didn't get it right yet, did you? Well, like because
they might have such hope too. It's
strange. The TV show is like the 3rd or 4th remake. It's just the other ones did so terribly. Like there was a movie that had the woman who played the mom in The Parent Trap as the main character. And if you watch the trailer, they're really trying to sell it like it's this like erotic, dark thriller. And I'm like, no, it's sex slavery. Why are you aiming it like that? And if you go look it up on like Movie Rental, it's like a dark sexual thriller. I'm like, that's literally not what that is about. And there was apparently like a play of it that was really bad, and just like other drama takes around different countries that tried to do it. And I guess Margaret Atwood just didn't care. Let's just like go for it. And then she's actually a consultant on the Hulu show, which explains why it doesn't suck. But
did anybody here ever get a chance to watch the His Dark Materials show on HBO?
Not yet.
No, but I want to watch that because
my wife is a huge fan of the books. I actually did see the 2005 film. I have a soft spot for it.
Yes,
but I thought but the TV show was brilliant. I mean,
cool.
Daphne Keane, who plays Lyra, I remember she was the main reason why I wanted to watch the show, because she plays the little girl in Logan with Hugh Jackman. And like when I saw that movie, like, oh, she's going to be in this, and with James McAvoy. I mean, I love James McAvoy, but my wife and I watched the first season and we absolutely loved it. It's very much, according to my wife, it's very, very closely adapted to the book. And I believe they've renewed for a second season, which is really, really great. I'm hoping it comes out on DVD or Blu-ray soon, because I really want to watch the show again. I highly recommend it.
You know what's a great like book versus movie, or I mean TV show versus movie? The TV show is better. Series of Unfortunate Events. That movie, that show, amazing. Yeah. Like,
well, also, Patrick Harris.
Patrick Harris
can do no wrong.
Like, are in both, and it was
what?
There were like a few actors who were like in both.
I know, yeah.
I was like, you know, that's really interesting. They just keep casting.
I remember because like what was great too is they wanted to make sure the kids pretty much continuously looked young, because in the book that course of events is like a few months, like it's not even like a year or anything, if that. Maybe it's a few years. It's not a lot of time. So they like, you know, filmed it also back to back, and those 3 seasons got released like so quickly, close together. And I remember it was like the winter of like 2018 that there was like almost no break between 2 and 3. And so Bridget and I are just like watching them constantly. And I remember I was always posting that I was watching them. And then somebody as a joke tweeted me and was like, you should get those like ankle tattoos that the VFD has. And I was like, you're kidding, but I'm going to do it. And then I did it.
That is kind of good.
And I have a series of unfortunate events. And literally I went, and even ankle tattoos hurt so much that even me, been heavily tattooed for almost 10 years, my artist is like, those are gonna hurt. I'm like, we're doing it.
Yeah, worth
and
it.
I have, and like people either like so on one ankle I have the eye, and then on the other ankle it says the world is quiet here. And it's great because people either immediately are like, oh my, is that, or they're like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
It's fun. Okay, I'm going to pull this comment up really quickly because I believe that that's true. 100%. So wanted to shout that out. And then there was this comment from Becca. What do you think makes a good book to movie or / TV show adaptation?
Well,
and I think that's worth discussing. So
I'd love to start with this. I think first and foremost, I really feel that the people behind the film adaptation have to be fans of the source material, which is the reason as to why Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings trilogy is practically perfect in every way, minus the changes. However, sometimes when it comes to making a film or a TV adaptation, sometimes some of the pieces in the stories don't necessarily translate well into film. Perfect example for that could be Harry Potter, because especially when you take a look at The Order of the Phoenix and The Goblet of Fire, which are the two largest books in terms of thickness, there are certain parts of the story that would just drag it on. I mean, look, don't get me wrong. Everybody loves the whole spew in Goblet of Fire. People love that. But I think that when you...
What's her name in the Goblet of Fire?
What's her name in the Goblet of Fire?
That calmly. Yeah.
And I just feel like, you know, I think it would have just dragged the movie a little bit. But a very interesting example would be Steven Spielberg's Ready Player One, which is also one of my personal favorite books. Mm-hmm.
But it's different from the book in a lot of ways.
I went to see it loving the book, and I went to see it with my wife, who had never read the book. And we walked out of the theater and we both really, really liked it. And then I said to her, but there were so many changes. And so she goes, well, give me some examples. So I gave her like a laundry list of differences. Yeah. And then she said, everything that you just told me, that would turn it into the most boring movie ever.
Yeah, I think there was some of it that was difficult to adapt. I think a large part of that also was because Steven Spielberg was the director, right? Wasn't he? And there was some Spielberg references like within the book. So that would have been weird if he was like self-referencing.
He was like,
so I think, that was kind of one of the reasons why I was changed. Because I remember I had to read Ready Player One for summer reading for a lit film class that I took, and then like watch the movie and like do all of this. And so like that for me like made it not as fun because I was having to like read it and I like watched the movie over the summer and then I watched it again in class and like I was going through reading through the book. So because like, when you do things for class, it's not as fun. Yeah. But like the movie itself in terms of the references and like the pop culture that's within it and all the Easter eggs and things, very fun.
I definitely agree with the whole, like, sometimes things aren't going to always work. Like, because I don't have a big issue with changing it as if, like, it can be justified. Like, I was kind of, like, in my own boat on this in high school when The Hunger Games was coming out because I never had an issue that, Rachel disappeared.
Hopefully she'll be back. I'll add her back in if
okay. But is that I never had an issue that it wasn't narrated by Katniss because the books are in first person and I think it was a lot. This is such an unpopular opinion. I like the Hunger Games movies better than the books. I think they do a better
You're not alone. You are not alone. I think that Mockingjay is a better film version than books.
Yeah.
Interesting, because there's a lot of people who don't like. I don't know if there's a lot of people who didn't like the Mockingjay films or didn't like the Mockingjay book. Like I remember when I found that out, I was like, "Oh, interesting."
I know a lot of people don't like the books. I thought the book dragged a little bit, whereas I think, and when I heard the movies were gonna split, I thought that wasn't gonna work, and I again think it did. I think because it wasn't first person, it was third person. Like I loved how in the first one we got to see what was going on outside of the games while they were in the games. Like I thought that was fascinating to see. Yeah. And then I think another saving grace is the fact that now in the past like 5 years making books into TV shows instead of movies.
Yes.
Is a normalized thing because even like Big Little Lies, like that was one book that got a mini series, and then like the thing where it's like they get like Handmaid's Tale, that's one tiny book and we're going into season 4, but Margaret Atwood is on set as a consultant helping them write the consecutive seasons, so even though it went past her one book. Whereas what I would like to see happen more is that books, like full-length books and series, go to TV, and then short stories and novellas go to the big screen. Because one of my favorite movies ever, and what I think is just arguably one of the most perfect films ever made, is 1408, starring John Cusack. It's based on a Stephen King short story, and it's just nothing from the story is left out. It's just perfect. Because like if you think about it, that makes sense. Like think about how long it takes you to read a book versus how long it takes you to read a short story. It makes sense that you could bring every single thing in a short story to life. Well, think about like fairy tales. Like fairy tales are all short stories and you can just keep making a million movies. I think because of like stuff like Game of Thrones, it then made it more normal to put stuff on the big screen because like Serious Fortune Events, like that TV show, again, the TV changed a few things and added a few things, but none of it felt out of place. It made sense to be there. Whereas the movie was like, okay, we're going to put the first 3 books together and then we're going to move the ending from the first book to the end of the 3rd book. And we're just going to hope that fucking adds up for somebody. And it's like, well, it didn't for anyone.
Yeah.
I also want to elaborate. I want to elaborate more on another thing that you were bringing out in regards to Mockingjay. I think one of the other places where Mockingjay really lacks is when you take a look at the first 2 books. They're excellent reads, but the problem with Mockingjay is there's a lot more stuff that really needs to be visual, and I just don't think that the author's ways to like give us stuff from a visual standpoint just didn't stand out well. When you actually saw it in film, it actually just made more sense. That's just the way that I look at it. I mean,
if it was part 1 or 2 where they blew up the dam, and do you know what I'm talking about? Okay, the way that was in the movie where they just show her singing quietly alone and then it slowly morphs into like all of the people singing.
Exactly.
I was like, and that was back when we still had like midnight releases, so it's legit like midnight. We're all in a packed theater.
Yes.
And
I had chills.
No, you're absolutely right.
The movie part 1 gave me nightmares because of PETA at the end. Like, the CGI that was going down, I was like, oh.
The drama.
The funny
I remember
thing is
when I
right
went
now,
into it, I was like, I bet that's where they're going to cut it. Like, I was like, I bet they're going to cut
I was
it.
so curious as to where they were going to split it.
Yeah.
I think that was a smart point to do it where they did.
No, it's not even that I think the Hunger Games are bad at all. It's just like, I think because there was this weird trend in YA dystopia to tell it first person and do it on this intimate level, which is fine. You can do dystopia like that. Like, that's how the Handmaid's Tale book is. But in the book, you are only seeing what Offred is seeing, and you're only understanding what she's understanding, because that's the choice you make if you're going to do it first person. I love me a first person narration. Don't even get me wrong. But I feel like YA dystopias and other dystopias, but I noticed it the most in YA, had this whole, like, they wanted to have their cake and eat it too. We're like, oh, we're going to do this intimate first person, present tense narration, but then we're also going to try to, like, info dump all the intricacies of this government. It's like, no, bitch, we got to go third person if you're going to do that.
Yeah, because, like, this one person isn't going to know all that.
Yeah, like, and it's like, why would, like, Katniss is a 16-year-old. Like, I think about it. I've actually been thinking about this a lot lately with, like, you know, Divergent and Hunger Games, you know, or the Hunger Games and the ripoff that we all were tricked into thinking was good for a long time. Caleb made that video where he explained, like, how we all got tricked into thinking it was good. So hard.
Because that was one of the things I wanted to bring up, like, is the Hunger Games versus Divergent, because they took, like, similar trajectories.
Story.
Right, because the first Divergent film, I was like, okay, it's not terrible. I don't think
then
it's the worst thing in the world. But I think it took a similar trajectory as the Hunger Games film, because both of those films started out with one director, and then both those directors left, a new director came in. For the Hunger Games, that was Francis Lawrence, and he came in, and Catching Fire was like a godsend. It's like, at least my favorite movie. Like, I love Catching Fire so much. And then he did, like, the Mockingjay films, and that, like, franchise, like, it blew up from there. Like, if it wasn't big when the first film came out, it definitely was when Catching Fire came out. Insurgent instead got a different director, and everything went to shit. You know, like, they decided to make it, like, it felt like a sci-fi-esque because there was, like, all this technology in a world that didn't have technology. And then there was, like, an article I remember reading with, like, I don't know who it was, like, the writers or whatever, but they were, like, having a conversation with some journalists about debating whether they, spoiler alert, kill off Triss in the end.
Yes, Triss dies.
I mean,
there's one thing I want everyone to leave here today knowing that Triss Pryor does not make it out of that series alive.
I also
but
think
they, like, I was like, what is this?
I think the Maze Runner films were better than the books. Also,
interesting, because I never saw the Maze Runner movies. I read the first book, couldn't get through it, and then
I wasn't a big fan of the books, but also I wasn't a big fan of the films either. But, like, for different reasons.
Right.
Like, I thought the films did a good job, but also, like, I didn't like the story enough to be like, yes, this was good.
I think the director of Insurgent now just has a reputation for making horrendous book-to-screen adaptations, because when they said, oh, we're switching the director, I was kind of like, all right, well, that first film was really hanging on by its teeth at being a passable adaptation. And then when I look who it is, now I don't remember this guy's name, but he only had, like, one other film under his belt at the time. So I'm like, oh, what movie was this? And it was The Time Traveler's Wife, which I think is the worst book-to-movie adaptation I've ever seen in my life. I loved that book. I read it when I was 14. When the movie came out with Rachel McAdams, my sister and I were like, oh my God, yes, we have to go. And I watched it, and it was one of those things where the changes were so frequent and so immense to a point where I was like, I don't even get how this is servicing the story in any way. If anything, it just made everything more convoluted. And so then when they did Insurgent, I don't know if we all remember the weird, like, hairbrush thing they held up to everyone's face that would tell you what percentage something.
Oh, yes.
We had.
You remember the weird shot? Like, the shot that bothered me the most is like Allegiant. This was like the shot where I was like the cringy of YA shots, and I think somebody tweeted it out with P.S. I Still Love You that came out, because there was a weird shot in that movie, and so, like, somebody I think put together like a whole bunch of different, like, images. Like, when they go into, like, I think what's supposed to be like O'Hare Airport and there's, like, this gel that comes down.
Yes,
it's got from like this. Yeah. I was like, who watched that and decided it was okay? Yeah. Exactly. I was like, it's terrible.
Why?
I was like, I can't watch this. I can't support this anymore.
The only good thing that came out of that movie for me was Jai Courtney because I love him as Captain Boomerang.
And then he died. Yes, Jai Courtney was
Everyone
great.
looked like they were like the guy they had playing 4. Like also again, I think
Which would happen to him. He became like the YA hot, like everyone was obsessed with him and then he just straight up disappeared.
I said to Bridget, I was like, I think like every few years they get like their batch of like this will be the male and female protagonist in YA.
Yeah.
So like recently we just got done having it be like Amanda Love.
Yes. I was like, stop recycling actors.
And it was that white guy who was in Love, Simon, and now we're like
Nick Robinson.
Yeah.
And now that All the Right Places has Elle Fanning in it, like that bitch is gonna be an like she, you know what I mean? And so
they choose like a select few, and they're like, okay,
they're like,
Justice Smith. I mean, Justice Smith has kind of been the new one. He was also in All the Bright Places. He was in Paper Towns, which like someone brought up Paper Towns, and they hated Paper Towns.
Detective Pikachu, and he was good.
Yeah, he was in Detective. I watched Detective Pikachu.
He was also in Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom.
Yes.
You know who else was also in Jurassic World, the first one? The guy from Love, Simon.
Yeah, Nick Robinson. That's right.
They only have 10 teenage actors in Hollywood. Most of them are white and most of them are straight. And they're like, we'll put them in every role. Oh, okay. Yeah. Here's a thing that's interesting. Is so a YA adaptation that technically changed a lot, but I thought was very good, and I'm alone in this boat too so far in my life, is The Giver. Is because that book is like so short and the book.
I love The Giver.
The movie aged him up and added like the element of love in all different ways to it. I also just thought the movie was perfectly casted. I'm pretty sure they had Jeff Bridges, if I remember. And another one of those.
I met him. He's amazing.
Oh, cute.
Wait, you met Jeff Bridges?
I met Jeff Bridges. Yes.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
I'll tell the story when I'm able to. I'll be more happy.
Night Owl Reader said they love The Giver too. Awesome. And then another movie, I'll say this and we hear a story, that it like technically hit all the right beats and yet somehow still feels like one of the worst adaptations I've ever seen. The Darkest Minds.
Oh! My God, yes.
Like, left in a
Do you
heart.
remember? I went and saw the movie. Alexandra Bracken came to Anderson's in Naperville and did this fun thing where she screened the movie The Darkest Minds and then was also signing for the new I don't know if it was a novella. I haven't gotten a chance to read it yet, but I think, was it The Darkest Legacy? That's the name of it? Yeah, that came out around the same time as the movie. So she did that, and so people were like coming in and out. So she was signing books while the movie was screening, so people were coming in and out. So there was a part of it that I still haven't seen because I had to leave the theater. Oh, I think it's at one point when she goes back to her house, like with her parents.
Oh.
I think at that point I walked out. Like, I had no plans to rewatch the film. I did not realize when I was watching that movie until like I started to watch people's reviews. Like I think I watched Caitlin from Big Screen Books, her review, and maybe Christine's review, like that the Reds, that they like that the characters that were the Reds were red, because I thought they were like some sort of zombie creation. Like I was like, wait a minute. They're on the because I didn't even realize because of like the glowing eyes. Like I was like, they seem so separate. Like they're made to be like, I was like, if the idea is like we're all teenagers, like we still aren't completely normal, even though we have this powers. It completely defeats the purpose to have the people who are at the very top of the tier seem like they're aliens or like science experiments. I was like, what is this?
They switched the tier in the movie. In the book, red is the highest. And because they really wanted to do that chosen one bullshit, they made orange the highest. And I'm like, listen, mind control is unsettling. But if someone can just... Also, when I pictured them throwing fire, I was picturing airbender shit.
You were picturing them spitting fire from their mouths?
And then also, there were so many... I don't know, it's like they really didn't want to lean into the fact that story was clearly like it was literal concentration camps.
Yeah.
And so in the movie, the book is like horrifying with how dark.
The books are so good. I remember reading them and being
they have like that painful scene where like Liam and Ruby are like, she's wearing a red dress and they're like, I'm gonna go to the prom, and it's like, LOL, our childhoods were stolen from
the
us.
Twinkies. You remember the Twinkie? Like he floated a Twinkie over to her or something at one point in one of the scenes. I was like, stop.
Why did Zoo have hair? Why did Zoo have hair? That's a big question because that was a whole thing.
Yeah.
Also,
they changed the colors of the characters. Is that the thing you were going to say next? That some of the characters had their color changed?
They were just
I think every
like yellow, and they called
it was like they were greens.
Yeah, like I think they were both. Yeah, like two of the characters. I forgot. They changed the colors.
One of the green, right?
Yeah, I think he was one of them. Yeah.
Also,
Chubs in the green.
there was other dark things
Maybe
that I've
another.
noticed YA adaptations really don't want to address, and I have a huge issue with it, is there's like sexual assault in a lot of YA books. Like everyone likes to conveniently forget that in Divergent, what is his name? Peter, the Miles Teller character.
He's the worst.
Yes, actually assaults Triss in the book. He like gropes her under her shirt. And then she goes to 4 and she's like, they touched me. And he's like, oh, you got to toughen up. And she's like, I don't think you understand. They touched me. And the movie was like, whatever. And then the same thing in The Darkest Minds is Clancy almost rapes her through mind control. And in the movie, it was like he tried to kiss her and she like snapped out of it. And they were like, oh dear. And then like, we're like, let's never address that again.
Because like, that's the thing.
I'm like, it's like it happened to teenagers. Like, that's the point of the book. Take it as a movie and then ignore that.
No, and I think like the thing is like I noticed really with the Darkest Minds film is it seems like there's this formula that's like we want to sell like make it a cutesy teen movie because they want to like sell it to like a general audience. Like outside who haven't read the book. So they fall into these tropes of like the cutesy romance, whatever. And it's like the story's like about concentration camps. Like it's really dark. Like and there's a lot of like deep messaging that's going on here. Stop trying to sell us cutesy.
Yeah, like the romance is really on the back burner. And they were like, okay, so there's a romance.
I'm afraid to watch All the Bright Places because I read that book when it came out in like 2015, 2014. And that is a deeply intense book that has like nothing to do with
because the marketing of it made it seem so fluffy. Like the marketing of it is terrible in comparison to what it's actually about.
Who are depressed and they meet each other when they're both gonna commit suicide the same way. That's how the book opens. And then they made the trailer and it's like love. And I'm like, that's not the point.
I mean, I watched it. And I have read the book. It's been like I think I read the book in 2016 or 2017.
Did you watch All the Right Places?
Yeah, I watched it. I thought like there isn't a lot that I remember from the book. So in terms of like how consistent thing is, but yeah, I think it's like definitely there's a lot of fluffy moments in there. I think a lot of the dark stuff that's in the book, like it's like you're saying, it's downplayed because we're trying to make it into a cute, story. But because a lot of like the darkness, like the things that like Finch goes through, I feel like are downplayed, and it's like then the ending happens, and I need to like I said, it's been a while since I've read the book, so like I was just watching it as like a movie, so I feel like I can't fully critique it.
Over the summer, Bridget and I were going through quotes from like when Booktube first got started, the books that we were all reading at the same time. This is when like every Booktube were at the same reading list. And these were quotes that at the time, all of us reading it were like, this is the deepest thing I've ever read. And then we just like and we started playing a game where they all sounded the same. Like you could insert them anywhere. And we'd be like, guess what book's this from? And like, you can tell that
doesn't shut you down, it wakes you up.
Oh yeah, fear doesn't shut you down.
It wakes you. Oh my god, yes.
And I literally remember in a Q&A, Christine was asked if she'd ever get a bookish tattoo, and she's like, probably not, but if I did, it would say fear doesn't. And like we all
remember that.
And then I was saying to Bridget, I was like, man, John Green really just kind of like screwed the YA romance community because he literally wrote a book in which 2 kids make out in the Anne Frank house and are applauded. And at the time we were like, oh, how romantic. And nowadays I'm like, that's disrespectful.
Yeah.
Children died here. Right? Like, oh, whenever I'm in a place where the Jews had to hide, it just inspires me to be in. And no,
not at all. I can vouch for something like that.
I remember though, because I watched Fault in Our Stars when they did like they did Night Before Our Stars, which was like the screening before the movie came out, and I was like in a packed theater, and like everyone was like sobbing watching that movie, and so it's been a few years since I've like watched the movie or read the book, and there's a podcast that I've started listening to called Literary Disco. Ryder Strong, who plays Sean Hunter in Boy Meets World. Yes, is one of the people who's a part of that podcast. That's kind of one of the reasons why I listened to it. But they did an episode about The Fault in Our Stars, and I just recently listened to it, and they were like digging into that book. But granted, they're like adults, but it's like interesting because John Green, like with the way that he writes his stories, like his characters are not very real. Like they're very like I don't want to say over-aggrandized.
Literary professor.
Yeah.
16.
Exactly.
Very
yeah.
Also,
It's-
like now that I'm like, you know, in my late 20s and I've like dated so many dumb men, looking back, I'm like Ansel Elgort's character of what's his name? Augustus Waters. I'm like,
Yeah.
that kid needs to chill. Like he does not take no for an answer. Like, oh my God. Like there's that scene where they're on the plane and she's like, oh, are you guys a couple? And she's like, no. And he's like, oh, she thinks we aren't, but to me we are. And I'm like, that's not cute.
Yeah. Do you remember the whole line? Like I think they were making fun of it in the podcast. They were like, it's a metaphor. You put the like
Killing thing between you.
Yeah.
Howard.
I kill you.
Well, I have a book for you right now, guys. I've read it many times.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of Ansel Elgort. I want to see him in so many more movies. He's in one of my all-time favorite movies, actually. So,
Which one?
oh, Baby Driver. I love him in Baby
I
Driver.
haven't gotten to see Baby
And
Driver.
I'm really excited to see him in West Side Story. I'm really excited to see him in West Side Story. I think it's going to be. I'm really curious to see Steven Spielberg remake this musical because it's like, you know, it's a Best Picture Oscar winner. So I'm very curious to see what the story is
Family
going to
members
be
were being
like.
like, it's going to be terrible. And I was like, well, there's lots of people that I know in it because I pay attention to Broadway, like people who are in the ensemble. And everything. I'm like,
who from
that'll be
Broadway is
fun.
in it?
Wait, huh?
Who from Broadway's in it, Gabby?
A lot of Newsies. I think
Oh, okay.
Ben Cook is in it. He was in Newsies. God, I know.
There's
Brian Murphy is in it. I think he's the
There's
cop.
2 big movies coming out this year that are musical based that I'm going to be seeing. Hopefully,
In the Heights.
Yeah, In the Heights is the other one. I never saw it on
Yes,
Broadway,
I'm
but my
so
wife loved
excited
it.
for In the
So.
Heights.
I'm so
I
hyped.
saw it on Broadway when Corbin Bleu was Usnavi, and I got to meet Corbin Bleu.
That's amazing. I feel like I'm
paid
really
for it.
pulling it up.
I was
Yeah.
16. It was
I'll
amazing.
tell. If everybody's ready, I'll be glad to tell the
Yeah,
death
tell us
Bridges.
about how you met
Do
Jeff.
it.
Bridges.
Okay, so when I was 15 years old, during one of our spring breaks, my mother and my mom's actually a twin, so she and my aunt, her twin sister, took my aunt's kids, and my mom took me and my siblings to a show that doesn't exist anymore. We went to go see a taping of Later Today. It used to air right after the Today Show in the mid to late 90s. One of the hosts is the late Florence Henderson, Carol Brady. So we got to meet her too, and she was everything I ever wanted in an actual celebrity. She was like the sweetest person in the world, absolutely sweet. Jeff Bridges was the guest of the show. He was talking about The Big Lebowski, which is now like a legendary film to many in the world of comedy. So he, of course, walked around the whole studio, and I got to shake his hand. We all got his autographs, and because my cousin who was with me, his name was Jeff, he actually drew a little sketch of himself with his autograph for my cousin, which was also really, really nice. He was really cool. He really was like that cool, laid back kind of guy. Yeah, so it was just, awesome. And the thing was, like, you know, when I was that age, I didn't really know much about what he did. I mean, the only movie that I knew that he was in when I was that age was Tron, the old 1982 Disney movie, which I'm a big fan of too. I love Tron. But now I know so many more of his movies, and whenever he's in a movie, I go to see it.
He was in True Grit, right? Yes, the
that the whole time. Yeah, he's in True Grit.
Yeah,
like he's in the sequel to Kingsman, and I'm like, I don't care if that movie's not as good as the first one. It's just Jeff Bridges in it. Why wouldn't I want to go see it? He's fantastic. He really is.
Yeah. Oh, okay. This like came to my mind because I'm thinking about now my lit and film class and all the book to movie adaptations I had to read. To your point earlier, Molly, you were talking about like sexual assault and how it's covered up in novels. Mm-hmm. I had to read The Natural for my lit and film class. Which, like, I don't know if anyone knows this book. It's about baseball.
Yeah, I know it.
Movie, yeah. So the movie adaptation, oh, God, who's in it? The lead is a really famous actor whose name I'm blanking on right now. He was in...
I want to say Dennis Quaid, but that's the rookie.
No, he was in Winter Soldier. Captain America Winter Soldier. He was the villain in Captain America Winter Soldier, who's not Sebastian Stan.
No, the guy. Yeah, no, I know exactly.
Inside of, yeah.
Okay. Oh, that Robert Redford.
Robert Redford, yes.
Oh yeah, okay. Robert Redford.
I don't know why brain is dead.
I was just thinking anyway. She's like, I'm sorry, did I step on your moment?
No, but anyway, like that book, like the book and the movie are so different. For one, because by the time Robert Redford is playing this character, he is like in his 30s and the character's way younger. And so it like just is so weird. And there's like the things like the character in that book is so horrible. Mm-hmm. And the whole point is the book ends and like he doesn't get redeemed. Spoiler alert. It's like one of those books that ends and it's like
My mom
like, and there's a lot of like symbology and metaphor and whatever in it. And I think there's like one point where he literally, he rapes a character and gets her pregnant, and like that's completely dusted over in the movie. It has this like happy, like it's literally like the worst adaptation of the world. Like me and everyone in my class who was watching it was like, we were screaming. Like I was like, this is terrible. And I wrote, like I had to write an essay about it. And I was like, here's why this movie sucks. And I just like went to town because it's just terrible. No, it was such a horrible adaptation. And it like
saw a movie recently that she was telling me about that she hated. And all I did was look up the trailer. What is it called? Time Jump?
Oh, the worst film I've ever seen, Time Trap. I'm going to make a video about it.
Sometimes you have those movies where they're so bad, you're like, I want the time back.
Yeah. The movie's a time trap. Yeah, no. We watched it in screenwriting class because we wanted a movie that none of us had seen, and we all decided on Netflix. And this was one of the things that came up when someone had logged into Netflix. And they pushed for it, so we watched it, and it was so bad.
They go like spelunking or something.
Nothing makes sense.
I look up the trailer. She tells me about it, and I look up the trailer, and I'm like, that's gonna be a no.
Oh, it's so bad.
It's from 2017. Okay.
It's so bad.
It's not old enough to have an excuse to be this terrible.
I know, and like none of the plots make sense, and they just like, oh my god. I'm planning on making a video about it soon because like no one has seen this, and I'm like, I just need to talk about how bad it was.
It is rated 6.5 out of 10 stars on IMDb, so that's interesting.
Literally, I watched that. I don't know anyone else who has watched, and I hate that I'm alone in this. Is I watched Room based on the book by Emma Donoghue, not The Other Thing, with Brie Larson, and like it was so good, but my god, was that upsetting. And like I knew it would be going in because no one's like, oh boy, like sex slave captivity story, good times. Like, no, it's not like you go into that movie and you're like, I had fun. Like, but it was so good. And it was so, and like, they don't actually show any assault in the movie or anything. And it's told through the point of view of the kid. But God, it's upsetting. And it's crazy to think about. And when it was over, it was one of those movies where I was just like, lie awake in bed. And you start thinking like, what would
that movie got a lot of praise in the film critics community here on YouTube.
Good. But literally,
I mean, it did get Brie Larson the Oscar.
I know. I was texting everyone. I was like, someone watch it.
I remember there was a lot like about that going on. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, I didn't read the book, but again, Emma Donoghue, I'm pretty sure, wrote the screenplay and was consultant on it. And that's one of those things where like, I feel like it'd be so hard to fuck that up since like 50% of the movie is them in the room. It's 3 people. It's the mom, the kid, and the predator.
How they could mess it up is if they just like took them out of the room.
I mean, they get out of the room. It shows you that in the trailer. The whole movie's not in the room.
No, I mean, like,
yeah,
it's like they're there for like 2 minutes, and then
they're like, oh, thank God that's been resolved. No, captivity stories. Like, it's like, I watch The Handmaid's Tale, and I'll talk about it all the time. Like, I'll tweet about it. My friend David, they watch The Handmaid's Tale, and so my dog's coughing because apparently she has COVID-19. So don't mind her. My dad will believe anything he reads about this. He sent me an article the other day about how to protect your pets from this. I went, Dad, the dogs can't get it.
Yeah, did you see that joke that went around on social media that was like, who let the dogs out?
Yeah, no, I saw that. That was great.
That was one of the. I think the best part about it was the fact that one of the senators or one of the House of Representatives from California actually tweeted back. They said, "I'm so glad that this tweet came out because it's been a rough week."
There's been a lot of good memes out of it.
Yeah.
It's really nice to know that during this time period, there's a lot of people that are still haven't lost their sense of humor. And I think that's the most important
thing.
That's the big thing that we're seeing. 10 minutes. You're going to see some quality content.
Yeah.
I think one of my personal favorites was someone posted on Twitter like, not all sports have been canceled and someone's taking a slipper and curling with a Roomba. I think that's the most hilarious thing I ever saw. But that's only the fact that my wife and I love curling. We actually do watch it during the winter games.
I I saw one that was like, what happens if you sneezed in class before coronavirus? And someone sneezes, and oh, bless you. And then it's like, if you sneeze after coronavirus, it's like, dear God, help us all.
I liked one that I saw earlier this morning. It was, this is what COVID-19 did to the Olympics, and all 5 of the rings are actually separated and 6 feet apart from each other.
That's funny.
That's really funny.
The musical parodies have been fun too. Like there's been people who've been doing like musical. Like there was one. There was one that I think. Oh my gosh, I can't remember the name of the person, but I just watched it today. That did a parody of Pocahontas's "Go the Distance," but they did social distance.
Oh,
like
you mean Hercules?
Isn't that Hercules?
Or is that Hercules?
Yeah.
Or is it?
Yeah, she's
was like,
Is that Hercules? Okay, wait. Maybe it wasn't. Or yeah. No, yes, okay, then maybe it was Hercules.
About that song.
I think it was Randy Rainbows. Maybe that was the name of the person who did it. My AP Psych teacher shared it on her Facebook page, and I watched it, and I was like, this is really funny. Like, Mike Pence was in it, too. Like, it was, like, edited to be, like, Fox News, but instead it was, like, fake news. Like, it was funny. Let me see if I can, yeah. Oh, gosh, and I'm trying to think. I know a lot of people wanted Weird Al to do a parody, and he was like, that's not happening.
He's like no,
so yeah, he's like, I'm no thank you.
He's also semi-retired right now. He actually
no, that's who am I thinking of?
He did do the Hamilton polka, which was nice.
Yeah, that was fun.
Okay, my dog needs to go out, so I gotta go.
Okay.
Yes, I'm gonna go eat some dinner.
So y'all want to wrap it up? We've been here a hot.
I gotta go. Yeah.
Sure.
My dog.
Nice talking with y'all.
Yeah. So this was fun. Thank you all so much for joining. We had some fun discussion.
Thanks, Gabby, for hosting.
Yeah, yes, of course. And more of these should hopefully be coming in the next 2 weeks. If you guys want to join me again, please let me know what time works for you. And I would love to have you all again because this has been
everyone remember social distance.
Yes, and
don't be selfish. You have nowhere that important to be. Like,
and more. I actually want to. I want to elaborate on that as well. If you are living by yourself and you're feeling alone right now, seriously, call a family member, call a friend. They miss you and they love you, and just hearing or seeing you will just via Zoom or whatever you use will just make their day, and it'll make your day as well.
Yeah.
Another big
and
thing
is you can't go outside. Like you can take a walk, just 6 feet.
Yeah.
But you don't need to go to a bar. It's like again, I've read like it's totally fine to order food or go pick up, carry out. Obviously, pharmacies and grocery stores, and obviously some people still have to go to work. Austin, I know, is a grocery store worker. So like, I mean, and some people just got to work, the grocery workers and everything. But if you don't have to go to work, if you can work from home, then for the love of God, we have so many streaming platforms.
Yes. Listen to Max and Mel Brooks. They know what's best for us.
Yeah,
exactly.
And then another thing is if you're able to shop indie. I know we were talking about this earlier today as booktubers. Yeah, so and that includes Barnes and Noble as well because Barnes and Noble's been going through it. So
just don't shop on Amazon for books if you can.
Yeah,
there's also one other thing that I want to specifically mention, even though I didn't touch base on it. Besides books, there's another business in books of some sort that is struggling really hard right now. Go and find out if you are a comic book reader or a graphic novel reader. Get in contact with your local comic book stores. They're trying to do online services. They're giving you subscriptions. You just give them all the titles you want to get on a monthly basis if you're reading something new, and they'll send it to you. There are also independent comic warehouses on eBay that they have their own sites like mycomicshop.com, because one of the few things that a lot of these stores are saying is, we hope that we will reopen soon because we may not be able to reopen again. So along with the bookstores, support your indies, support your local comic shops. They're all trying to stay afloat while this is happening.
I have just one more. I hadn't even thought about that, and I love my local comic shop, so I'll definitely do that. I just want to say one more thing. The Elephant Ladder, my zine that I run, our submissions are not only open till April, and we pay, and everyone's struggling. And yes, it's not a lot of money, but it's something. But my executive assistant, I coughed because I swallowed wrong, guys.
You're good.
That's okay. It's okay.
Swallowed this wrong. I don't know. My friend Lauren, who also works for the Elephant Ladder, I don't know what she puts on the Twitter until I see it. The Twitter is not always me, spoiler alert. But she posted this from the Elephant Ladder Twitter today, and I thought it was just really good and fitting for these times. Like, we've been goofy the whole time, but, like, yeah, things are bad. It's a quote from Lord of the Rings, and it says, "I wish it need not have happened in my time," said Frodo. "So do I," said Gandalf, "and so do all who live to see such times. But that is not for them to decide. All we have to decide is what to do with the time that is given us." So, like, yeah, it sucks that Gen Z and millennials have to be like growing up and going into adulthood during like a plague and a presidency that's not taking care of the country. But as my writing teacher said, like, it's not forever. Life will continue at some point. It's basically just like on hold right now. And it really sucks that a lot of us have lost jobs or having trouble with our healthcare and stuff like that. But you know, again, like Steve was saying, if you're alone or whatever, like, reach out. Like, Booktube community's here. Yeah. My DMs are open, and you know, read a book.
Yeah,
like,
and as someone who has been someone who was going into adulthood, seeing 9/11, being a person struggling with his job back in 2008 during the Great Recession, the most important thing about us has nothing to do with who is running the country. It's the people within the country that if we just unite, keep strong and vigilant, and just, you know, follow the rules at least now. If you're a rule breaker and you hate the man,
the only rules you follow are to stay in and watch Netflix.
Seriously, as they actually said on the news, they're trying something new. Don't roam, stay home.
Yeah, and especially streaming services are doing a lot to accommodate people now. Onward is going to be coming to Disney Plus. Frozen 2 came to Disney Plus early, which I just got to watch. So
my friend David watched Emma and The Invisible Man the other night because they're up to stream for 48-hour rental stuff that was supposed to be in theaters.
Yeah.
And then other movies have pushed back so that you don't have to miss their releases, which I'm pretty happy about. And like, you know, it sucks. Like, one of my friends just got laid off this morning, and like, I'm struggling to find a doctor for my chronic pain now because obviously everyone's swamped with this shenanigans. But it's like, the more people, like the CDC has said this, the more people who just stay home, the quicker they can flatten the curve and get this under control. But while we're all just prancing about,
let's also see they're going to test those older drugs that have been used. They're going to finally start doing some test runs on some control groups. If that can
comment down below, Philip DeFranco put up on Friday a really good and thorough video about the current progress of how long it's going to take to make the vaccine, because they're fast tracking, and they said they're going to get it done in a year, which is like the fastest the vaccine's ever made, and that they're trying to work on other drugs that won't cure it but will like treat it, like the way that like antibiotics,
chloroquine, the ones that are forgiven to people who have malaria and sometimes some serious cases of rheumatoid arthritis. Look, if it can help, let's just hope that it works.
But until then, everyone's stay in your goddamn house.
Yes, and now just get out. You can go, like Molly said, you can go out in the early portion of the day for a nice walk to get some vitamin D, get some air.
I mean,
you know, if you got a pet, you don't gotta go
outside. Our neighbors have been going for walks. I've seen a lot of hilarious TikToks of people in the neighborhood like sitting out with their neighbors, but everyone's 6 feet apart, and they're just like, you can chill. It's not that hard.
It's not that difficult. And trust me, when we talk to people on the phone or when we do something like this, we feel much closer. That's the other thing. And I would also say, if you have friends that are unfortunately not able to have birthday parties or anything like that, I highly recommend you invite them to a virtual birthday, which is what I'm doing, which is what my wife and I are trying to get two of my friends. They're a married couple. Their birthdays are 2 weeks apart from them. I said, can we all just like do a Zoom session, pour a couple of drinks, and just wish you a happy birthday? The only thing is, if we have to wish two people happy birthdays, does that mean we need to wash our hands while we're doing it?
All right, guys, my dog is like really irked that I
I'm sorry.
So it was wonderful to talk to all of you. Any links that we talked about, if you guys, there was like things that you mentioned, send them over to me and I'll put them in the description for this if people want to check them out. I'll leave some links to some indie bookstores in the description as well. I didn't get a chance to do that before we went live. More of these will be coming. I'm currently working on planning one for Friday, I believe, 8 p.m. Eastern with Kiernan the Booktuber and Caitlin from Big Screen Books. So,
or you can watch the Shakespeare live show.
Yes, do both. Do them all.
Good night, everyone. Thank you.
We'll
bye, guys.
Bye. Wonderful. Okay.